Like many of you, when I did stumble upon the ICT concept or trading strategy back in 2020 during the COVID lockdown, I thought to myself that, yeah, I finally found the Holy Grail, that this is it, and I found the Holy Grail. So this gave me the confidence to go full throttle into watching all of his videos on YouTube and as many of his mentorship videos that I could get my hands on. But unfortunately for me, after doing this for years on end, I still couldn't make profit. I still wasn't profitable. I kept losing lots of challenge accounts, which invariably were bought with money. So this went on for over a period of time, not until I figured out that the strategy wasn't the problem, but certain characteristics that I did possess and that has helped me in other fields of my life, but in tangent with the ICT concept was very bad. The results were not good. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 biggest mistakes that I made and how I overcame them, and I'm going to be giving you a bonus tip that helped me turn things around. So if you are a new trader or you are an aspiring trader that wants to learn the ICT concept, or you have been trading the ICT concept but have not been able to turn in profits, I do hope that this video is of great insight to you. So if this is your first time on my channel, do feel free to click the subscribe button and let's head straight to the chat. So I'm going to be using this callout tool to list each of the problems and the solutions to which I came up with. So first of all, problem number 1 was trading too many pairs. Yeah, at one point in time, I had over 10 pairs that I was looking at, even more than 10. I was also trading many crypto pairs that I could find on the futures. I thought trading more of these pairs could give me more opportunity to catch maybe the perfect setup. But all I got was confusion. I missed a lot of opportunities where I'm supposed to be trading. And this only cost me a lot of mental capital and disappointment, because each pair at the end of the day, even though ICT says the concept works on every market, in which I'm not saying it doesn't, but each pair at the end of the day has its own behavior, its own reading, and trying to trade too many of it will only lead to confusion. So instead of doing this, so the first was trading too many pairs, yeah. So instead of doing this, I decided to cut down the number of pairs that I did trade. Now I trade maximum of 3 pairs. So I brought it down to just the Euro USD and the GBP USD, which I consider to be 1 pair, and then gold, which I consider to be the second pair. Yeah, so I basically do my analysis on Euro USD, and whatever the outcome is from the Euro USD, I use it to make trading decisions on the G. So I do not analyze the both and confuse myself. Then I do a separate analysis on the gold, because the gold can be a wild card and move however it wants to. So this was problem number 1. I'm going to be very brief at listing these problems and the solutions, so do stick around. Problem number 2 was I was trading on the wrong time frame. Normally in my day-to-day life, I'm very, very impatient. And apart from being impatient, I could be highly focused. I'm a very focused individual. So whenever I want something and I dedicate enough time into it, I get it as quickly as possible. So I brought in that idea into the market, and since I found the ICT, I thought, now that I've learned all of his concepts, the following month, following week, I'm supposed to start making lots of money. And with the way he teaches it, if you do listen to ICT, he gives you kind of an alter ego, yeah. So coupled with that, it was a wrong combination for me. I started going in hard to the market. I risked a lot with very little to no stop loss at all. So this was also telling on my mental capital. I couldn't get away from the 1 minute and 5 minute chart. I was constantly looking for setups, and at the same time I was doing this on multiple pairs. Yeah, so but over time I realized that instead of trying to force the market to adjust to the kind of characteristics that I do have to give me the pleasure I want quickly, I decided I have to force myself to learn to become more patient instead. So I decided to step up from the 1 minute and 5 minute chart, and I went as far as the daily time frame. So now most of my analysis are done on the daily time frame. I do my executions on the 4-hour time frame, and then if the trades I'm managing are day trades or just short-term swings, I do manage it on the 1 hour time frame. So as you can even see currently on the chart, this is my trade, my $0 trade for this week, and I'm currently managing it on the 1 hour time frame. Yeah, so this has helped me reduce the extent to which I expense a mental energy or mental capital, which is a very vital tool for all traders to have. We do not want to get disappointed on taking the wrong trades. Instead of just taking the right trades and whatever the outcome is, we could bear with it. Yeah, so I stepped away from the lower time frames. I went higher a little bit, and my personality also adjusted since I had to sit on my hands and wait for the 4 hour or the 1 hour time frame to give me whatever it is that I'm expecting the market to give to me. Yeah, so problem number 3 was, so I developed the God complex. Now, example of the God complex I'm going to show you is this. So this was yesterday's trade. Yeah, I did want to be a buyer, so I just want to be a buyer below the Asian price. Now, where the God complex comes in is me trying to figure out the exact level to which the low will be formed yesterday or the high for today will be formed. You understand? So when I was doing this over time or during that time of being unable to make any profit at all from the market, I could once in a while predict it correctly, and I'll be able to take a trade with maybe 5 pip stop loss. And the screenshots are very nice when you post a 1:10 R. But the number of times that I was taking losses before I'll be correct was telling on my confidence, it was telling on my mental capital, it was draining me in every way that I could think of. So getting rid of this God complex was one of the biggest shifts that I had. I had to just accept that I will not always be able to tell the price, and instead of trying to figure out where the exact low or high will be of the day, I just needed an area in which I think the low or high will form. Then using that, instead of trying to maybe say, let's say the low will be here, then I'm trying to do something like this and like this, I decided area. So if you can see the difference to trying to take the market like this, in which I'm not saying it's wrong, it works for a lot of people, but for me, it didn't. So instead of this is how I now take my trades. As you can see, look at the difference. So this was the first entry. I know that I want the trade to be around this area. I think initially this stop loss was even up to this level. Yeah, stop loss up to this level. So when the market broke and gave me another entry, that was when I adjusted this stop loss so that I could add more position here. And even when adding the position here, I didn't try to say the market will stop here and reverse so I can do something like this. I didn't do that. I used not just this low, but I even used the low in which I know that when the price get to, I'll be wrong totally. So getting rid of the God complex have helped me a lot. So instead of trying to catch a 1:10 R with using the 5 pip stop loss and maybe risking 0.5, I've decided to be mature enough to risk up to 2% per trade or 1% per trade. Then let my stop loss be as wide as possible to an area in which I know that when the market gets there, I'm wrong on that trade idea completely. So this is the three biggest mistakes that I continue to make. I continue trading a lot of pairs. I continue spending too much time on the lower time frame, and I had the God complex along with all of this. So it was not a good combination for me at all. I could pass a challenge account in 2 days and I would blow it the 3rd day. So this kept on repeating until I decided I should just look into them and flip it. You understand? If doing something a certain kind of way isn't working, why not just do the opposite? So instead of trading too many pairs, I reduced to 2 pairs plus the gold. That's 2 pairs eventually, since I said I trade the EU like the GU. Then instead of trading on the wrong time frame, which is the lower time frame for me, since I was very impatient, I decided let me learn to be patient. So I switched to higher time frame. Yeah. Instead of having the God complex of knowing exactly where the high or low of the day will be formed, I decided to be a fool to it. So I'll prefer taking trade from an area in which I expect the high or low to be formed. And in doing this, I could also relax, take a trade, hold it for a day or more, put on enough risk so that the waiting will be worth it. And when I get an opportunity to add onto it, since most of my trades were even formed on the higher time frame, it's easier to trust that since the market is moving in my favor, it will continue further. So I could add more positions. Now for our bonus tip, I had to cut down most of the concepts in which I learned. I had to get rid of them. So all the plenty concepts that I learned, I had to just get rid of it. It wasn't working. Rather, I just chose specific concepts that I was going to use along with what I've learned or what I've been exposed to over the years in the market. So first of all, I started using the Fibonacci more. I have my levels outlined. If I just show you right now, you could see the 50%, the 68, 75% also. So I have my levels marked out. I set some rules along with it on how I'm using the Fibonacci. Then I started using order blocks and I started using breakers and then fair value gap. So order blocks, breakers, and fair value gap, these are the three main ideas along with the Fibonacci that I started using. And this alone changed the way in which I looked at the market completely. So right now, I'm no longer in a haste to take trades. I take less than 3 trades. The whole of January, I did take 7 trades in total. So with that, I'm confident that even if I lose 2 to 3 times, one of my trades could eventually bring me even not up to break even, at least close to it. And if I even get the opportunity to add a position onto it, I could even get more than, could come back more than whatever I've lost. So this is the way in which I've improved in my trading. I do hope that you find the information valuable to you and that you begin to make lots of profit and better decisions in your own trading decision making. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.